epic disaster.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do like weird intros every week.
Okay.
Like a new, strange.
I'm not.
Just, it's entertaining to me. I should have some kind of fun in this podcast.
Yes, you should.
I should be able to.
You should.
Okay.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. How's everybody else doing?
We're good.
Good.
Yeah, wow, they're actually answering us.
That's insane.
Hi, everybody. Guess what? Do you want a beer?
I do.
We are going to start with a live beer review.
Oh my god. So
I know nothing about this beer.
okay, where'd you get it?
I don't know. Grocery store. I picked it out. So I kind of picked it out because news story has been going on, and it's.
I'll tell you what it's
goes
called,
along with that,
and you'll
news story.
guess which story we're talking about.
Well,
It's-
actually, two news stories, but we're gonna go talk about one.
it's called UFO White.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about the UFO story in a few minutes, but not about the whites. I don't. I'm not going to get into that.
Okay. It's a American-style white ale brewed with California orange peel and fresh ground coriander. I don't think you're going to like it.
It's not white, by the way. I should tell you that.
No, it's
very
not. It's
yellow.
a very amber color because it's a
golden.
white ale. So okay, you might actually like this one. You know why? What's
Because
that?
you said I wouldn't.
No, what's that one that we got? We used to get a lot. Belgian. It has the orange. It's the thing on the where they paint on the picture and it shows up to be a beer, and you know what I'm talking about. No. God damn it.
Dang it.
Sorry. Anyways, this is a company that is employee owned. It's the UFO Beer Company. It's 5.1% alcohol, and it is brewed by Massachusetts Bay Brewing Company. They're out of both Boston, Massachusetts, and Windsor, Vermont.
It doesn't have a strong smell. I did for a second. I smelled a little bit like pee, but that went away. So
Good. I'm
might have
glad
just
that
been
went
me.
away. Maybe it was on your hand.
It could have been me.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you dribble?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
Maybe you did.
I'm gonna
You
try
give it a try.
Gonna give it a little sip. You want to go first?
No,
I'm
you.
gonna try it.
It's killing me that I can't remember the name of the beer that we used to get a lot.
Oh,
See?
okay. That's not what I thought.
Yeah. So we used to get this beer at the Chattanooga Farmers Market.
Okay.
It's a Belgian White Ale.
Blue Moon.
Yes, thank you. For fuck's sake. Blue Moon.
I don't know.
It's the same style.
Maybe
It's the same
not
style beer.
It's not as orangey as Blue Moon.
It's got some orange.
Do you think so?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got some orange in there.
Okay. We'll talk about it in
Okay.
a little while. We'll drink it, then we'll talk about it. That's what the live beer review is.
So far,
by the
I
way.
like it. So far, I do.
Yeah. Okay. UFO happened. So did you see the story?
You know,
Now,
off and
was
on.
that like old news? Was it like, were they releasing video? So here I'm seeing video of fighter pilots, American military fighter pilots.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, these UFOs come into their screen. And maybe you saw that here, I guess it was last week, 2 weeks ago. It was like really fuzzy. You couldn't even tell what it was.
Right.
And then there's this big UFO scandal now.
Yeah, and it's something that the media has picked up and taken off with. And basically, it's just, it's really... So a UFO is just something that's in the sky
Unidentified.
that we don't know what it is.
Flying object.
That's all it is.
That's a UFO.
Yeah.
Unidentified flying object.
Yes,
A
I know
regular
that.
plane could be a UFO if they haven't identified it.
Exactly.
So just because it's a UFO doesn't mean it's from an alien planet.
Right.
Here's the problem I have with alien planet UFOs.
What's that?
So let's just imagine that there's maybe some sort of intelligent, let's just say life 1st somewhere. Probably not in our solar system, don't you think?
Not likely.
Not likely in our solar system. So
Right.
there's some life somewhere. And that life, I don't know what their society, do they have a society?
Why wouldn't
Are
they?
they just like bugs? Well, bugs don't, I don't know. They're just like
Bugs
little-
have societies.
I don't know. They could be like some
Think about the bees.
sentient bubbles.
They could be anything. If there are other
That's
intelligent
the name of my football team, by the way.
sentient bubbles.
Yes. But, okay, so on their planet, these sentient bubbles all of a sudden just were like, let's build a plane. so like we had the Wright brothers that figured out flight, and then it kind of snowed. Did they have the Bloody Bloop brothers?
Possibly. I'm going to go with yes, because I don't think they could just suddenly come up with, let's build a spaceship.
Okay, but what's the coincidence? What's the likelihood of a coincidence that we both cultures discovered flight?
Why wouldn't that be
in the same way, we both decided to make little planes. And we just both happen to have metal and steel and the same technology.
What do you think planets are made out of?
Well, whatever. I'm just saying, we made them to look exactly the same way, and that's basically the same technology.
Yeah, that one I don't go with.
I don't know, but it's too coincidental to me.
To look exactly the same, no. Although there are a few things you need for air flight. You need lift, which means you need wings. Okay, so now we're both going to have wings because you need that.
Yeah, and they
right?
look, and
they need to be streamlined,
but
right?
the UFOs basically look a lot like our planes. They would be just. What if they were just like completely different? Now, I know sometimes it's like an orb. It's like an orb.
It could be an orb.
Maybe they're orb pilots. I don't know.
If they're bubble people, why wouldn't they have an orb?
Bubble planes.
There you go. I mean, come on.
Could be.
Let's open our minds just a little bit.
But then the other problem I have, you just think about it. So they're not from our solar system. Why are they here? Why did they decide to come here?
Radio waves.
I don't. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So they just were like, let's just drive around and see what we can find. And they happen out of all of the billions and billions of planets and stars. They just happen to land on Earth.
Well,
got caught in the radar of a military plane, by the way. Obviously,
that is very highly unlikely.
It's all unlikely, I think.
I would think that if any other being were on another planet and they decided to come and check us out, they'd have a reason to. They'd have either some sort of signal that looked funny to them, they wanted to check it out. They'd have some sort of something. They'd be like, just like we do when we find new planets, rotating around stars that are way the fuck out there. We're like, oh, that's so cool. Let's study it, right? But we may not have the technology to get there to study it yet. Maybe they do.
Maybe they don't have the Impossible Burger. And they're like, I've heard on Earth they have this fake meat. It's really good. It's just like the real thing. Let's go check it out.
Now you're just making fun.
Yes.
Okay. Because you are not one of those people that has an open mind.
No, I do. I feel like if there's life somewhere, it is probably like a bubble or a germ or so. I don't think it looks like us. I just don't think it does. I mean, you think about all of the life here on the planet Earth. There's so much life.
And so much diversity in life.
Very little looks like us. So why wouldn't it look like a dog?
Okay.
Why wouldn't it look like a platypus? I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
And with the billions and billions of stars that are out, and billions and billions and billions of stars that are out there, you cannot possibly tell me that you are not open to the fact that there isn't life out there.
No, I'm totally open. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, what's the chances that the life happens to be like us, it thinks like us, and it creates like us using material very similar to ours? I think that's far-fetched. Maybe life, okay? Maybe a life somewhere else, they developed the ability to fly really fast in their own bodies.
Okay.
Using something we don't even know.
Possibly.
So, because they're totally different life. So I just feel like, why is it so similar to ours? It's just, and I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, but it's just like the whole thing when people talk about God. Have you ever noticed that the God is very similar to them?
Yes, and he's always a man.
He believes the same thing. He likes the same thing.
Almost always a man.
He kind of thinks this in the same. It's like they created this image that's, instead of God creating them in his images, they created him in their image. So I feel like the same way with aliens, we're going to believe in aliens, but we're going to make them a lot like us.
They're going to be bipeds.
Yeah.
They're going to have 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth.
I mean, even Star Trek and Star Wars, and I'm okay with that. Star Wars is a little different, and I know the more contemporary versions, they did get a variety of kind of life forms, but the earlier versions, they're always, a lot of times they walked around on their two legs, and they might have had a crazy head, but they always had a head.
Do you know what I think is funny? Is that you mentioned to me once on one of my favorite shows, Star Trek Enterprise, where the security officer and the head engineer go down for a night out on Ricin, I think it is. Is it Ricin? Risa. And they go down to a bar, and they're talking up these two girls, which obviously look just like humans, but they aren't.
Okay.
Right? And when they ask where they're from, the British guy says Earth. Not Earth, Earth.
Okay.
And then when she responds, she's like, where is Earth? Like, would you say it like that?
Right.
Or would you say it exactly like they told you?
Yeah, because you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
No.
If you'd never heard the word before, and somebody said aluminium, would you call it aluminum?
No, you would repeat exactly what they said.
Exactly.
You wouldn't, unless you were a student of the language.
Right. And if you didn't even know the planet existed, why
Right.
would you be a student of the language?
And it's ridiculous.
So that's a TV show.
Yeah.
Right? What my brain can come up with is way better than a TV show.
Well, I feel like I have no problem accepting, and I think there's most likely there's life somewhere. But what is that life, and how similar is it to us in physical appearance? And I would say probably very not physically like us. And what's the chances it's going to create like us and make planes that look like us and fly into our solar system? It's so egocentric. It's such a human thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm fine. I'm not doubting alien. I just think UFOs. And I said this to you earlier. It's just like a UFO. Just because it's UFO doesn't mean that it's a
Doesn't have
alien
anything
thing.
to do with aliens.
It just means no one's identified what this flying object is. It could be a balloon. You know,
Yeah.
something. And I mean, the video that we see that has come out from the military, something that looks like it's flying. Mm-hmm. It could be a Russian or Chinese aircraft that hadn't been identified, or even American. I don't know.
More likely American.
All right, whatever.
All right. You want to play a game?
Why not?
Let's do that. Get off this subject so we don't offend anybody else. I'm going to go first. You're going to ask me a question first.
I'm bringing back that.
Don't bring back that.
No, I'm bringing it back. I feel like it's something we did as kids. When you drank something you really enjoyed, you always go, and you didn't do it when you stop doing it as an adult. And I think it's tragic. I think we should all do
tragic.
it. Yeah, we should all do it.
Did you ever watch Black Mirror on Netflix?
No, I have not.
Okay, you should.
Okay.
They're all awesome.
Mm-hmm.
One of the episodes is, I won't tell you how they end up together, but there's a woman and a man who are in their time together.
Okay.
And he's hot. She's all for it.
Oh.
Everything's great. Things are going well. And this time together is not just a night. This time together is a while.
Oh, so they're doing it. They're having
Relations.
pokey. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You call it pokey.
Yeah.
I'll call it sex.
Okay.
Because I like to be blunt.
And that's why I didn't get a lot of dates.
Right. Will you pokey with me?
You want to do the pokey?
Oh my God.
No.
No, I don't want
Sorry.
to pokey. Anyways, so suddenly after the first time that they make love, it's awesome, right? They're having a good time, and she's like, wow, I've got, and we're talking months that they're going to have to be together, right? So she's like, this is going to work out well for me. I think this will turn into something, right? And he gets up afterwards, and he goes and gets a glass of water. He drinks his water, and then he goes, and then every single time he drinks anything,
Yeah.
he goes,
Yeah, that's me.
and I'll tell you what, after about a week of that shit, I'd be over it.
No.
I
that's good
won't
stuff.
I won't tell you what happens, spoiler alert. She's over it too eventually, but yeah.
All right. I still say we should do it. Everyone should do it.
No, don't do that. No.
Drop your blue stone. All right.
Green.
I'm really ruining my psychic record here.
I think you are.
So green is ethics and intellect. Would you rather always succumb
Suck cum.
always succumb to peer pressure?
That's so horrible. Why did we both just go there in our brains?
I don't know. Or do the pokey pokey. No, it doesn't say that.
No.
Or have no one ever like you.
Wait, what are the options?
Always succumb to peer pressure or have no one ever to like you.
I would rather have no one ever like me. I have a dog. I'm good.
That's kind of stupid options, I think.
Those are stupid options.
Very dumb. Okay.
You know, one of my favorite jokes, it's really dirty, so if you have kids are listening, please ask them to stop.
Stop listening, kids. Don't listen to the dirty jokes.
If at first you don't succeed, suck again.
Oh. That's crazy.
I think it's funny. Okay, you go.
All right.
It's your turn.
Gonna drop. I'm guessing yellow because I haven't dropped yellow. So what are the chances? What are the chances I'm dropping yellow?
Slim.
I'm going to say.
Slim.
I'm saying I haven't dropped yellow.
It's purple. Purple stands for food and ingestion.
Okay.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Ew. You wouldn't do either one of these, I know,
right,
because you're a
let's see.
vegetarian. But would you rather, if you had to do one of these,
I had to. Okay.
either eat dog skin beef jerky,
Okay.
which wouldn't be beef jerky, it would be dog
Yeah,
jerky.
dog jerky.
That's just stupid.
Canine jerky.
Would you either eat canine jerky or rat tail soup?
Rat tail soup.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're just in the rat tail soup. You're just kind of getting the fat. It depends on.
How do you make your rat tail soup, Rick?
Well, it just kind of depends on what the other stuff in the soup is, obviously. But
Yeah.
like dog jerky, you're like actually eating
Dog.
meat of a dog.
Right.
With a rat tail soup, you're kind of just eating juices and other things.
What if there's chopped up rat tail in it?
But I think I would rather have a rat tail than rat skin or rat body and stuff. So
Rat meat.
yeah, I don't want either. But I'm just saying having choose between the two.
You grew up pretty rurally.
Yes.
Did you ever eat squirrel?
That's one thing I don't think I ate. And I don't remember eating that. No,
What about gator?
I didn't. I've never eaten gator.
What about raccoon?
Nope.
Okay. So you just stuck to the normal stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people who, the hunters and stuff, which I didn't do.
Yeah.
That would eat that kind of stuff. I ate brains at one point. I have eaten frog legs, which were actually really good.
But you ate those in New York, didn't you?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were spicy and really good. What else? I've had deer meat.
Yeah, everybody's had deer meat.
Yeah, I don't think I've had rat, though. I'm sure I haven't. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
You have some things,
I do.
right?
So it's this. Okay, we're a little late with the podcast.
Barely.
We haven't finished Monday yet.
No, so the podcast will come out tonight.
Yeah.
We're recording this the same day.
It's Monday. It's
That's
Memorial
unusual.
Day.
You were sick yesterday. by
Happy
the way.
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
This is why we're late.
Okay.
So I decided to skip today because it's Memorial Day, and just start with tomorrow, which is the 1st of June, on my national days of the whatever
1st of
they are.
June, crap.
I know.
Amazing.
1st of June.
2021's almost over.
So I have a few facts, though, too, because I like to tell at the beginning of the month a few facts about the month of June.
You know what I like better than facts?
What?
Factoids. What's the difference in a fact and a factoid?
Is a factoid smaller and tastier?
I don't know. I think it might be.
Like an Altoid?
Could be.
Okay.
It freshens your breath.
Is an Altoid smaller than an Alton? Like we could say Alton Brown or Altoid Brown?
I guess.
I don't know. Please don't ever let him listen to this.
A fact. You got a fact. A factoid is like a fact, but it also freshens your breath.
Okay.
Yes.
These are very fresh facts.
Okay.
Okay. So the month of June, these are pretty simple facts,
Yeah.
too. The month of June is National Candy Month.
Ooh.
It's National Dairy Month. It's National Seafood Month.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
And it's National Iced Tea Month.
Okay.
Those are all like some of my favorite things.
Yeah, I think I'm into all of those.
All of it.
I used to not eat seafood. I'm eating some seafood.
Right.
Barely.
But I love fish.
I'm eating tuna. That's basically all I'm eating now.
You didn't care for the mahi-mahi we had recently.
I didn't have any of
This
that.
was a few months ago.
I didn't have any of that.
I think you did.
No, I don't. I've been like salmon.
Yeah,
I've discovered I don't like that
Really?
much. I was watching a tuna documentary yesterday. I didn't realize how large tuna are. They're huge.
They're fucking huge.
And but I love tuna, and I can eat shrimp sometime. What is the fish that they used to make fish and chips? It's
Cod.
Like cod.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Cod's very bland fish. My favorite is snapper, and halibut, which is another semi-bland whitefish.
Okay.
Which I think you would like too, but I wouldn't recommend getting halibut here because if it's not from the Pacific Northwest, it's not going to be good.
Okay.
Sorry. And if it is from the Pacific Northwest, to get down here, it's going to have to be frozen, and that's no fun.
Okay.
But if you ever go to Alaska, I'll tell you some good fish places.
I'm thinking of Alaska. I've been thinking about maybe making a trip.
Well, take me with you.
Yeah, we should do like a...
I can show you all the
We
spaces.
should do like an Alaska trip, but I'd kind of like to drive up.
Good luck. You know how long that takes, right?
Kiss my butt.
Take a week at least to get across the United States.
Is that a problem for you?
And then a week to get through Canada.
You're the one... Look, if I want to drive that long, I can't. You're the one that said, take me. And I said, okay. And then now you're complaining about the trip and we haven't even gone.
I'll fly up and meet you.
All right. You do that.
Does that work?
Well, I just would like to see the trip. I'd like to see the ride. And Alaska itself, I know you got to be careful driving to Alaska. But I have a niece that lives in Alaska. I'd like to see her and then maybe go up and see some other stuff.
Just so you know, you can't drive to catch a can.
You can take a ferry.
A ferry, yes.
So
that's not driving.
Might do it.
Okay.
It is. If you drive and you get on the ferry, and you drive your car on the ferry, and then you go there and you drive off, and then you drive around, you're driving.
But you're driving on water.
No, you're parking on water.
Okay, better. You're parking on water. Anyways, yeah. So the drive up, just so you know, driving in Alaska is nowhere near as bad as driving through Canada to get to Alaska.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Keep that in mind.
I will, but I don't need to keep it in mind for a while because I'm not going for a little while.
It's not happening first. It's going to cost you a lot of money.
Okay. Well, maybe I want to spend that money.
Do it then.
I'm getting old.
True.
I need things to entertain me.
True.
I need things to spend my money on.
What money? The zodiac signs for June are Gemini and...
Gemini, I don't know.
Cancer.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they're the two zodiac signs that fall in the month of June. The characteristics of these two signs depend largely upon the facts mentioned in the birthstone point, which I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
The birthstones for the month of June are...
I know what that is. Ruby.
No, that's July.
That's
mine.
Right. That's Cancer, though.
No. Well, yeah, because Cancer goes into July.
That's what I'm talking about.
But Leo is the second half of July, which is me, which is also Ruby. But the birthstones for June are historically Pearl. But then there's also...
So basically old women names.
Yeah.
Pearl and Ruby.
Moonstone and Alexandrite.
Like hippie names there.
I love Alexandrite. It's so pretty.
I don't know what that is.
And a lot of people don't. Each of these three stones represents different qualities of the people born in June. Health and longevity are
I feel like
achieved...
people just now turned the podcast off.
Okay. Should I stop?
Yes.
Asshole.
I think when we're debating names of birthstones, people are all right. I'm going to something else.
I'm doing something else. Fine. Screw the birthstones.
Let's go with This American Life.
Here we have the national days of the week. Some of these are fun. Some of these are boring.
Okay.
The 1st, which is Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
World Reef Awareness Day.
Reefer?
Reef.
Oh, reef.
Like an ocean reef.
Yeah.
This is something people need to pay attention to because they're dying. There are conservation efforts in the works to get them worked up and all better. Mm-hmm. But they are living things and they do die. And garbage in the ocean makes them die.
If I was a soap opera actor, that would be my name.
Reef?
Yeah.
Why not Leaf? Remember Leif Erikson?
Leif Erikson?
Yeah.
Didn't he discover the Western world? Something like that. He discovered Greenland. I don't know.
Okay, it's also National Olive Day. Do you like olives?
Oh, man. It's one of my favorite things.
What kind of olives?
I'm a green olive guy. I like green olives with the pimentos in it.
Uh-huh.
That's all I need. I can do other things. I'm okay with the black olives.
Did you like the blue cheese stuffed green olives?
Yes.
Yes.
My wife likes a little more exotic olives than I like. So I bought those for her because I know, and I like blue cheese, but I'm kind of a basic olive guy. I like salad olives. Well, I don't remember what they call them, but I just like your basic green olive with the little pimento.
So not super strong, just a little olive flavor.
No, just the olives.
What about calamatas? You like calamatas?
I like those. Okay, yeah, sure. On pizza, especially.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
With no seeds.
Well, no,
Don't
that
break
would be
my teeth.
that would be bad. Break your jaw. The second, which is Wednesday, will be National Rocky Road Day. Are you a Rocky Road fan?
I could eat some Rocky Road.
When I was little, I liked Rocky Road ice cream.
Yeah.
But do you know what? As an adult, I don't. Because A, I don't like chocolate ice cream. And B, it's got marshmallows in it.
Yeah. Rocky Road, and isn't it? It's called Rocky Road just because it's got a lot of stuff in it, right?
Yeah, it's got like nuts and marshmallows. And,
Yeah.
and it's chocolate, so it looks like dirt.
But I can still eat it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's very little ice cream that I couldn't eat.
So
or wouldn't eat if I had to.
If I were forced to eat Rocky Road, I would eat it.
Eat your damn Rocky Road!
Yeah. Or if that were my only option and I really wanted ice cream, I might still eat it. There's one ice cream I refuse to eat. I think you know what it is.
Coconut? No, I can't remember what it would be.
Mint chocolate chip.
Oh, why?
Because that's just disgusting.
No, it's not. That's good.
No, mint and chocolate don't go together. Everybody else thinks so. I don't. It's my opinion. Get over it.
Okay.
So this will be your favorite day, the 3rd, which will be Thursday.
Thursday
the 3rd. National Egg Day.
We love the eggs.
You can eat eggs every single day.
I could.
You would eat, every meal, every day.
I believe that would be my choice of protein if I could only have one protein.
It would be eggs.
For the rest of my life, I think it might be eggs.
And they're very versatile. You can have them in so many different ways. Why not?
Every once in a while, someone tries to convince me they're not healthy, and I kill them.
Okay. Where are they buried?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, sorry. So this is fun, too. It's also National Repeat Day. And this is something...
What?
National Repeat Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you get that the second time after I repeated it?
Yes.
There's Pete and Repeat. Okay. So it's a fun day because it's a time to consider things you've done that are worth repeating. Like maybe, hey, I really enjoyed that trip to the Colorado River. I would like to do that again sometime.
So that's what it's about, is doing something again that you enjoyed doing before.
Not necessarily. That could be one aspect of it. Another aspect of it could be a time to ensure that you aren't repeating things you never want to repeat again.
Well, that would be a National Not Repeat Day. This is a National Repeat Day.
But if you find yourself repeating a pattern that got you into shit or didn't serve you well, it might be a good day to look at that.
Look at it
realistically.
But don't stop repeating it until after National Repeat Day.
Okay.
Because National Repeat Day, you're supposed to repeat.
It could also be fun, too. Like, you could say thank you twice.
You can eat 2 of the same meals.
You can have 2 same desserts.
Yep.
Have 2 drinks rather than 1. That's every day for me.
You have sex twice.
If you can. That's no day for you.
If you have sex with twins? No, that wouldn't be the same.
It's not
Unless
the same.
you had sex with the same twins twice, which means you'd have to have sex
4
with
times.
4 people.
If you were a man.
Oh, my God. No.
Okay. No, not for you?
Not for me.
Okay. The next day, which is the 4th of June, is National Cheese Day. Sign my ass up.
Dang. I mean, who doesn't like that? There are people
cheese
who
every
don't
day.
like cheese. There are people who don't like
I know. I have I have an acquaintance who, whenever we would get sandwiches from somewhere, he would always say no cheese.
Why is he your friend?
Well, he's not really anymore. And I think it was the cheese, honestly.
Cheesed you off.
This is fun, too. And this is something I do every single day. It's not masturbation day.
Oh, sorry.
It's National Hug Your Cat Day.
Oh.
Everybody who has a kitty, go hug it. It's kind of like, no, I'm not going to go there.
I didn't even need it. I don't understand why you need a day for that.
You don't. You do it every day.
It's just like brush your teeth day.
Yeah. You know what I do every day that I take a shower and wash my hair? Every single time I do it, I lay down on the bed and pretty girl, either dressed or in some sort of dress. And pretty girl comes up and just rubs
and that's your cat. I just want people to know that's your cat.
Yes, it's my cat.
It's not your maid.
Pretty girl is my cat. And she just comes up and just rubs all over. And sometimes she's bashes me in the head with her head. She just loves the smell of the freshly clean hair.
Oh,
And then
or she's trying to kill you.
That too. Even when I get up, she still rubs all around where my wet head was.
Yeah.
It's cute. I think it's cute.
It's so rare that I actually smell you clean.
That's also probably true. The 5th of June. This one is National Veggie Burger Day.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of veggie burgers.
But is your favorite plant-based burger still Impossible Burger?
Totally.
Okay.
Like, I like plant-based burgers. I like what you could call the veggie burgers.
Right,
but
right.
I like them to taste like meat. I'm
Right.
not a big fan of, like, garden burgers where it tastes like actually veggies. I'm not a big
I
fan.
used to love garden burgers.
I
Even
call them
when-
ass burgers.
No, that's not what they are on the menu.
Oh.
But even when I used to eat meat, I used to go to this diner type restaurant, and I would sometimes just order a garden burger just because
know
I like
people
the
do
way
that.
it tastes.
Yeah, I know people who
Yeah.
do that. Mm-mm.
It's yummy.
Nope.
And sometimes you don't want meat. Sometimes you just don't.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Okay. It's also National Moonshine Day. Maybe there's the problem.
Have you ever had moonshine? No, why? I will bet you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had moonshine.
Okay, so let
So-
me ask you this. Do you think that the stuff that you buy at the liquor store that calls itself moonshine is actual moonshine?
I'm gonna guess no, but I've never had that either.
Yeah, it's not. Moonshine, like if you go back in history, moonshine is stuff that's, brewed in the backyard or distilled in the backyard or whatever. Excuse me, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That stuff that you buy at the store, it's just alcohol.
Yeah.
And then they put flavor in it.
Yeah.
Moonshine doesn't have flavor.
I went to a friend of mine's house, Ed, who served moonshine. I didn't try it at the time. I wasn't drinking at the time, but everybody had some. And this was like, is a mason jar.
Yeah, yeah.
He bought it from a friend who made it. This is in Tennessee, and I'm sure it was authentic. But what does it taste like? Just kind of burns?
It's just
nasty?
alcohol.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like anything.
So there's no taste. It just burns your throat.
And gets you drunk really fast. It's so I had a friend that brought back some from somewhere, I don't remember, and it was just straight up moonshine. Like, again, in a mason jar, not sealed, not, preserved, none of this. It's just straight up alcohol, so I guess it doesn't really need any preservatives. But yeah, it's harsh.
Isn't it weird that a government can go, oh, we're not going to let you do that?
Yeah, but
It's
we're
like, why?
going to,
We like it. It makes us feel good. We like it. No.
No, you can't do that.
We control the things that make you feel good.
Yep.
Like, well, can we grow corn and sell it? Yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
Beans? Yes. So we can't make this? No.
No.
Isn't that weird?
It's very weird. You can't turn the corn that you grow into something.
Why?
I don't know.
It's useful. It's the same way with pot. It's just like it's a plant. Why can't you make the plant? Sell the plant. Somebody might like the plant. Well, they might smoke it. Okay, what if they decide to smoke it?
Let 'em smoke
What if
it.
they decide to smoke a rose?
Yeah.
Well, the rose is not going to make them high and feel good. You don't want them to feel good? No. We have to control the feel good.
All the feel good has to be
It has
controlled
to
by
come-
us and
What
taxed.
is that about?
Taxes. That's what
Is it
that's
about taxes?
It's
We
about
we
taxes.
well, okay, tax the roses, tax the marijuana.
Yeah. They tax the champagne.
They
Why
tax
not?
everything.
They tax everything.
Tax the moonshine.
Do it.
Let
Tax
the
it.
people make it.
If I want to make my
They
own
do now, and
moonshine-
I don't even know. I mean, you can make moonshine now. You just can't make it illegally. You can't make it without a license. and
Right,
stuff.
right.
I guess I can understand too that making if you're anything,
If you're making a product for sale, it has to be regulated.
yeah, and I kind of understand that, and I'm kind of for that.
Yeah.
But you cannot sell. It's against the law to sell. And someone might correct me, but I don't think so. It's against the law to sell unpasteurized milk.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's also against the law to sell anything that is for consumption unless it's been tested and approved by the FDA.
And that's kind of okay with me.
I
Kinda
say
okay.
if you don't want to chance it, don't buy from the people that aren't tested.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's
But if there are people out there that are fine with it, let
a
them do it.
libertarian way of looking at it.
Okay, I suppose. I might be a little leaning that way, but
I mean,
maybe
I don't
not a whole
like,
lot.
Like the Amish, let's say the Amish, and you have a dairy and you sell it to your friends or give it to your friends. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Make cheese, give it
Yeah.
out. But then if you're going to set up a stand and tourists are going to come through, from Virginia or California, and you're going to sell the cheese that you grew, it helps to know that it was done in sanitary conditions in the right way, and they did it properly, that they're not putting people
I agree.
in danger who are going to be buying it.
I agree.
I don't know that I believe that everything needs to be controlled necessarily,
No.
but I do think the process of getting it from A to B needs to go through some inspection and things like that. It's like you don't want to sell rotten meat to someone.
And you don't want to sell meat that has feces in it.
No, but you're sitting on the side of the road with eggs, or like my dad we had chickens and we would sell eggs on the side of the road.
Yeah. How do you know those eggs aren't?
It could have salmonella in it.
Yeah.
But they weren't inspected, and he never got shut down. This was a small town, but if someone's selling chickens or someone's selling beef, you kind of want to know that it's been inspected. The place has been inspected. But there are small towns that don't do that.
Yes.
And that's everywhere. I mean, Iceland, they're catching fish and hanging it in their barn and then selling it.
Yeah.
So that's always been going on. But I appreciate the fact that we have people who help us to ensure that our food is safer,
especially in mass.
Yeah.
Because if somebody makes a decision to buy from their friend who they know isn't licensed to sell, and they get sick, that's on them.
It's my favorite James Bond film.
Licensed to sell.
Yeah.
It's quite a process. Okay, last day is Sunday, which is the 6th of June. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about it, even though I said I wasn't going to talk about like big holidays that people know. What do you know about the 6th of June?
6th of June, is that Juneteenth? No. Juneteenth is next week. It's the 10th of June.
Juneteenth is normally like
I don't know.
The 19th?
What is the 6th of June?
6th of June is D-Day.
D-Day. Okay.
The 6th of June, some people still commemorate it every year for obvious reasons.
I've heard D-Day my whole life. I would never be able to tell you when it is.
So June 6, 1944 is known most commonly by the term D-Day. It refers to the landing of the Allied forces on the beaches of Normandy, France, staging one of the pivotal attacks against Germany during World War II.
Yeah. Kick their ass.
It marked the beginning.
A little late.
It marked the beginning of the end of the war, but it also marked the end of everything for many, many servicemen.
Yeah, totally.
And if you look at how it was done, if you read books about it and you investigate it at all, I mean, they were expecting casualties. There's no way you could have gotten around casualties.
Totally. I don't have that mentality, and I guess nobody does. They're just born with it. But that mentality of I'm going to go do this knowing I'm going to die because I'm doing it for my country. I don't have that.
Well, and then if you think about the mentality of the person that set up the operation, I'm going to send several thousand men to their death.
But look at the result, and they knew that would be the result, so they had to do it. It's just like the ends justify the means. We're doing this because of this, and those people who did that, they knew that they're sacrificing themselves. I don't have that. I can't. I
don't really have that either.
D-Day for me would be diarrhea day. I would just, and then they would shoot me.
They would shoot you for desertion.
No, I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm not trying to just be jokey. I don't have that in me, but. I guess if nobody does, maybe if you're put in that situation, you just do what you got to do.
And that's part of military training.
Yeah.
They break you down and they build you up how they want you.
That's what it's for. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I couldn't do it. And two, I mean, no, never mind. I just can't.
Okay. So one more comment on that is just so it brings it into some sort of reality is German casualties on D-Day have been estimated at anywhere from 4,000 to 9,000 men. Now, casualty does not necessarily mean death. Okay, what? Casualty can mean an injury or something. Yes, it can.
I don't believe
Allied casualties were documented for at least 10,000, with 4,414 confirmed dead.
I need some verification of that. I don't believe it.
Okay, look up the word casualty.
I will after the show. Is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
I only did Tuesday through Sunday because today's good. Monday and it's already over.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
How's your Memorial Day going?
I forgot.
Okay. That's entirely up to you.
I did have a thing I wanted to talk about. Now, this is something I put on. Oh, shoot. I wanted to read what some of our fan listeners, our supporters.
You almost called them fans. Don't do that.
I know.
Because not all of them are.
People, I don't know what the word is. People that follow us. I don't.
Listeners.
Well, see, I was going to say listeners, but I thought, well, I don't know that they all listen. So people who follow us, followers.
Okay.
What they said. So I asked a question on our Facebook page, and I want to ask you the same question to see what you say. And it is, what is it in your life that you have been forced to quit that you really wish that you could still do? So like my wife, I asked her the question. She said running.
Yeah.
I don't know why I guess she was forced to quit because of her body.
Well, her foot basically said, no, you
she has some medical issues that won't allow her to run, and she would really like to run again. What would you pick? What would you say? Of all of the things that you've been... And when I say forced to quit, it's not like somebody stood with a gun and said, you got to quit.
Do this
it's
anymore,
just like beyond your control, something made you stop. So I'll tell you mine.
Yes,
while
please.
you're thinking.
You do that.
I'm pretty sure mine would be smoking.
Yeah.
Because I
can see that.
I never smoked cigarettes. I'm not a cigarette smoker, but cigars and pipes, I had to stop smoking. And this is what made me think of the whole thing, and this happens on a regular basis when I'm out walking around and I will pass someone smoking a cigar, and I just want to go inhale their breath.
Can I just follow you?
It's like, can I smell that? Would you let me put... Yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably should go like to a cigar store and buy cigars and light them and just smell them like incense. Why can't I do that?
You can. I think there's actually cigar scented incense.
There should be.
And if there isn't, there should be. You're right.
But man, I miss that so much. And every once in a while when I get a whiff of cigar, I realize how much I miss it. But I couldn't, because see, and I know I've said this before, but it's like I'm not, when I smoked cigars, I inhaled them. I couldn't not inhale them.
And not every cigar smoker actually inhales all
most
of
don't,
it.
I think. And it just rips my lungs apart.
Yeah.
I don't think they're made to be inhaled. But it's like really strong. There's no filter, and they're just really, really, it's like strong tobacco. So
That's crazy.
I would tell myself I'm not going to inhale, and then I wouldn't inhale for 2 or 3 puffs, and then I would inhale, and then I would just keep doing it.
And you would smoke. You would get those packs of 5 cigars.
Yes, and
they're the small cigars. They're like the Sweet and Milds. And you would get those, and you
Black and Mild,
Black and Mild, whatever they are, and you would smoke those just like chain smoke.
I would light one with the other. Yes.
Yeah.
I would smoke the entire pack
in a couple hours,
and I would have a sore throat and sore lungs, and then I would open another pack and do the same thing.
Because you're crazy.
Totally.
You're a crazy person.
I could not stop. It was like the first time, and I see people with these all the time, but there was wine. They came out with wine flavored.
Those are so good.
It was like smoking Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Or grape juice. It was so delicious. I didn't want to stop.
I know two people who still smoke those. One of them says he's stopped. Oh, I don't believe him.
I would still do it, and it's one. And sometimes I resent it that I can't smoke.
Well, you shouldn't smoke.
No, I know. I know it, and I don't.
Because it hurts you.
I haven't smoked in years.
Yeah.
But man, I
haven't smoked in years either. But I'll tell you what, I don't regret not smoking anymore.
If I could, I would be a cigarette smoker if I could.
And I was that way for a decade after I quit. Every time I smelled a cigarette, and sometimes even with your partner, if he were smoking, I'd be like, "Can I just have one of those?"
Oh well, we went to parties where you would light up. Yeah.
And it would kill me. It would just make me because I'm allergic.
Yeah.
So I can't do it anymore.
But why do we do that dumb stuff?
I don't know. I don't know.
Put that stuff in our body, but I would do it until I die. I had that on both sides of my family. I had people who did that.
Yep.
It's a Southern thing, I guess, but it's not just.
I don't think so.
But my grandmother did it until she was in her 90s. I couldn't stop. I would just keep doing it.
So we did have some people answer your question on Facebook.
Yeah, what they would do.
Where did it go? I just had it in front of me.
What?
And now it's gone. Okay, so one person, and I'm doing this off memory because I just read it, and now I can't find it. Here it is. So one person says that your question is specifically, quote, what is something you were forced to quit but still wish you could do, end quote. And somebody's being funny said, my ex.
That was Doug in a pub, wasn't it?
It was Doug in a pub.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. He says, "See what I did? I made it funny." So he's joking.
I mean, it was funny and it was a joke, but I just wonder how much seriousness is back there. I think maybe he might have been like really serious too.
You think maybe he still wants to
That's
do his
why
ex?
I wrote on there. I was just like, lay on the couch and talk about it. It's just like, I think that there's some.
I mean, why would that be the first thing you'd say?
I just think that he's joking, but there's some truth.
Yeah. Well, most jokes come out of truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because it's true.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay, so another one of our listeners, Dog Crate, says drinking caffeinated coffee.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
So
that does bother some people. In fact,
it's a cardiac irritant.
I was talking to someone today about that. How I can drink an entire pot of coffee before I go to bed and just sleep right through it. It doesn't affect me one bit.
My dad was the same way. Like before bed, he would make a pot of coffee and drink a pot of coffee.
It's relaxing.
And relax with a pot of coffee.
If I have one glass of tea, I'm up all night.
Yeah.
But coffee, I can drink a pot. Other than peeing, which is a side effect that is a problem, but I can drink the whole pot. No problem at all. It's relaxing to me. I love it. Mm-hmm.
No. But then at the same time, I'm one of those coffee drinkers, and this is funny. Like some days at work when I used to go to work, we have these really awesome coffee makers there. And I would make these 4-shot of espresso iced coffees.
Yeah.
Like they would be like a pint size. It would have 4 shots of espresso and then milk and then coffee. And I would drink 3 of those a day. And I would be fine at night. Totally fine. Now, what I do now at home, I always have a pitcher of iced tea in the fridge. And I will have 2 or 3 glasses of iced tea. If I do any more than that, I can't.
I can't do that.
I can't sleep.
My wife can't have coffee like after 3:00.
Yeah, exactly.
She won't go to sleep.
Yeah, I would drink my ice. I will drink my iced tea up until about lunchtime, which for me is at 1 p.m. After that, if I have any more tea, it's going to be a struggle.
Okay.
So I get it.
Okay.
It's weird. It's weird. And then we have another listener who says that one of the things he was forced to quit, but wishes he could still do, is drink milk.
First name?
John.
Milk. And I can drink milk. I can't drink milk at night.
Why? Does it fuck up your gut?
Oh, totally.
Really?
Any milk stuff. So, you know how we like boozy shakes.
Yes.
My wife and I will go to the grind house and we'll get boozy shakes, our favorite boozy. We had to stop doing that because, like, after 6, boozy shakes will keep us up all night. Any kind of milk product, cheese, it's dangerous. And that happens when you turn 40. After your 40s, forget it.
I don't know. I don't. Okay, so I don't have milk in my house.
Yeah.
But I do eat cheese.
Yeah.
Regularly, like I mentioned earlier. But milk products like I don't have a whole lot of sour cream.
Yeah.
And I don't have cow's milk in the house. I'll have almond milk or something like that. But no, I don't have that so much yet. I'm starting to get that. If I have too much, I get that acid reflux.
Yeah.
It's just starting now.
So my suggestion, here's the secret. And it took me almost a decade to discover this, almost 2 decades really, is you can buy digestive enzymes.
Yes.
Lactate or something like that is one
lactate.
of them.
Yeah.
But there's some others too. And they include in them a digestive enzyme that helps you to digest milk.
Right.
And I didn't realize this. I'd heard about it. I didn't know. I just thought it was people who were lactose intolerant, and they just could. I didn't realize that it would actually help me. So if you're going to have ice cream or pizza or something like that before you go to bed, take one of those or 2 of those, hour whatever before. No problem at all. You will get through the night. No problem.
It's funny you mention ice cream because ice cream is the thing that does it to me the most.
Because it's the sugar and the milk.
And the milk.
Those 2 things. Yeah.
Yep. So I found that I love sorbet just as much as I love ice cream. So when I'm at the store and I want something cold and sweet like that, I start to go for the sorbets more now because it doesn't affect me as much.
That's an old person thing to do.
Shut up. I'm not old.
Okay, so let me ask you something else here. And thanks for those people who responded on the Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely. Please, always, if you see us ask a question on Facebook and you're on Facebook,
chime in
and we will mention it. And if you want us to mention who said it, we'll do that too.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you this. So I was thinking about that question, and it kind of led me into this. I started thinking, what regrets do you have in this world? What, like your whole life? You have a whole life now. What are your regrets? Do you have any life regrets?
I have a big one, but I don't think I should say it here.
Really? Why?
So I had the opportunity to. Okay, so it's a friend, high school sweetheart.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to rekindle that.
Okay.
After, I don't know, 15 years after high school.
You send them a nudie?
No, I didn't send them a nudie. I mean, I've done that.
Yeah.
But no. And I was too afraid to go for it.
What?
So I didn't do it.
Why?
Fear.
That doesn't have anything to do with that. I think you're just fear about everything. You fear relationships.
I do.
You do. I know.
I do.
It's not just that one. It's all.
That one was a big one for me, though. Mm-hmm. That one was hard to say no to. Mm-hmm. And
is it too late? Can you get it back?
Oh, it's too late. Yeah, he's married.
Oh. Okay.
But and I still love him to death.
Yeah.
And I still hope that I can count him as a friend.
Sure. I mean, that's
in my life.
Yeah.
You know,
I always say that. It's just like love, friendship is better than love. It lasts longer.
I think so too.
It's not as fragile.
Right. I think so too.
Like when it can go on forever, whereas love half the time ends.
And for all I know, it would have lasted a year and ended.
And then and then you might not have survived as friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's bright sides and then there's dark sides and then there's just, what it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's not something I live with on like a daily basis.
Damn it.
I don't cry in the shower every day or anything like that
anymore.
It's just, once in a great while I think, what if?
Yeah.
And I think that's the definition of regret.
Yeah.
Is, I haven't ever done anything that plagues me on a daily basis, or I haven't ever not done something that plagues me on a daily basis, like serious regret. Regret. Now I'm in Britain.
Yeah.
No, it's just something that when it comes up, there's a little sting, but then it's over. And I think more than that, even more than that, I regret some choices I've made more recently where I made some mistakes and acted a fool. Mm-hmm. And that's it's more recent, so it's more it's more raw. Mm-hmm. It still stings a lot, but it is what it is. It's done. It's over. I can't change it. I can't fix it. There's like no fixing it.
Yeah.
And I know that. So what's the point of regret? When I say, okay, what I can do is I can either learn from those mistakes, not do them again, or I can sit here and dwell on this.
But to me, that's where regret comes in, because I started thinking about this for my own self when I knew I was going to ask this question to you, because I was like, all right, then what do I regret? And it was like, I don't have a lot of regrets in my life. And it's like, even the things that sucked, and usually those are like bad relationships or relationships that didn't happen the way I thought they were going to happen. I can look at them and go, well, I learned how to be this kind of person through that. I learned how to do this in that relationship, or I got this from this relationship.
Yes.
So learning and growing kind of makes it not regretful. And I think when you are in doing something in your life that you're not learning and you're not growing, that's when you can legitimately have a regret.
Yes. And I think that since this particular person that I was talking about, the one regret is I've had other relationships since then. Mm-hmm. And I don't regret having the relationship, and I don't regret necessarily the way the relationship ended, because everybody in the relationship learned something.
Yeah.
And it came out to be a positive, in my opinion. So there's no point in regret at that point, because it was worth something.
Yeah.
When I allow fear to rule me and I don't even try, that's when I regret.
Yeah.
That's what I regret.
You learn nothing out of that.
Exactly.
It's kind of a waste. So I was thinking, for me, so like my regrets, a lot of them are centered around relationships. There were either people that I let's see how I'm going to say this. I I loved and I shouldn't have loved, or I didn't love and I should have loved. So that I have some regrets in there. But ultimately, what I was thinking about was like, what my regrets are. So as you get older, the one thing that you discover is that's the most valuable thing that you continually lose is time.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one thing that is constantly
running out.
You're constantly losing that. And it's the thing you actually need the most. So to me, like when I think about what my regrets are the things that wasted my time. Just totally, like, again, if you learn something, it's not really a waste of time. But like I was in a relationship that might have lasted 4 years, and it should have lasted 1.
Right.
It's like I would have learned everything in those that I learned in those 4 years. I would have learned it in the 1.
Yep.
So the last 3 were just kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I regret those 3 years. I'd like to have them back. Can I get those back?
No, you can't have them back.
So that's kind of, I guess, if I have any regrets, and I have very little, and I'm not even know that I would say I have any, but if I did, it would be that. I regret time that I wasted. And it's like, I think about, I spent 5 years in college that doing a major that I don't use anymore.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
a big one.
What if I went back and I did, so even doing that, I learned skills, I made friends, I made connections, I did things that I would never have done otherwise. So I can't say that I regret that. It was a great experience, but as far as usefulness, I didn't get anything out of it. So what if I had majored in something that was more useful that I would use now?
Right.
So maybe I have that regret. I don't know. Again, it goes back to just wasting time.
But you wouldn't change the life experience that you had during those years in college.
Not at all.
You would change the major.
But could I think I would have some of those life experience. I could still have the same friends if I had a different major.
Right.
Like I think.
So it's not about the time wasted, because you learned, you grew emotionally and within relationships during that time.
No, then that's not a waste. That's not wasted time.
That's not wasted time.
But I'm just saying there and throughout my life, there's been a lot of wasted times. There's been a lot of times when I might. So I think about this a lot, and I don't complain about it, but I just think about it a lot. Like I wanted to do stand up my whole life. That was what I wanted to do so bad. But I wanted to do stand up my way. I didn't want to go through comedy clubs. I didn't want to start off doing things the way you're supposed to do it.
Right.
I didn't want to do that.
Right.
And so I wasted a lot of time not doing things the way it should have been done. And so I don't know, I think to go back and be able to do things correctly, and also not only that, but to, like, nowadays with the internet, you don't have to do comedy club. You have
don't.
YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're a writer, you can write and publish on your own website.
Yep.
If you're a performer, you can make things happen yourself. You don't have to wait on people anymore. If you're a singer, like Justin Bieber got famous just by putting stuff on YouTube.
On YouTube, yep.
And that's the thing. You don't have to have agents. You don't have to have record clubs record companies anymore. You can, but you don't have to do any of that. Performers and artistic people nowadays are in control of their careers, and
more so than ever.
That's
yes,
wonderful.
I agree.
And sometimes I just think the time that I wasted, that I wish that I had that available to me.
And it wasn't, though. It wasn't. So,
but there's also, like, if you're a horrible stand-up comic and you put that out on YouTube, you're not going to get it's actually going to ruin your career or any possibility of career.
Well, it might move you to another career.
Yeah.
Based on what you get in response. Or engineer, who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm not saying Janet, I'm just saying you wouldn't be a comic, you'd be
something different.
Yes,
You'd be something different. And you're right.
But I don't know. I think about that a lot, and I don't have a lot of regrets. I got a lot of times I look and I just go, boy, I wished I'd done that differently. I wished I'd handled that differently. I wished I had tools. I wished I had seen that I don't have to play by these rules. And I think when you're really young, you think, And I hear that a lot. Even like, this is a huge jump, but like in my spiritual study, like when I was younger, I always thought you had to go through certain steps and do certain things.
Yep.
You don't.
You
don't have to do that. There's no rules. There's nobody sitting anywhere that knows tons and tons and tons of stuff more than you do, other than people who had just general experience more than you have. And that's very valuable. But no one has an owner's manual.
No.
To any of this.
No, or a curriculum that you need to stick by.
And you will find that out when you're 60, and you're going to go, oh, I should have just picked up a guitar and started playing.
I should have just done it.
I that's one thing I was thinking today is like the one thing, if I could say I had one thing that I regret is that I did not master a musical instrument. I think, I don't care what it is, piano, guitar, whatever, one of them, I should have picked it up and mastered it.
Well, you have 3 in this room.
But I tinker with them. I'm just saying, just to be brilliant on one, and it doesn't have to be your career, just to be able to sit down and play piano or guitar or whatever really, really well.
Yeah.
I think everyone should be able to have a musical instrument.
I had a friend, I don't know, 15 years ago, who played piano, and she played magically.
Yeah.
And that wasn't, I mean, she enjoyed it, but it wasn't her passion. Like, she could play Nocturne, you know, where you fit 5 notes into a 4 count. She could do that shit. That what's his name? Billy Joel stuff.
Yeah.
That song. Beautiful song. And even more than that, she could just sit down and just do it. And she had been learning and practicing for years, but it wasn't her passion. Her passion was mathematics. So it kind of blew me away that this creative person who could sit down and learn anything, as long as she could read it, she could play it. I don't know how, but she was teaching me, and the way she was teaching me, I was learning, but it just wasn't her thing. And I just think it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Well, let's ask our listeners, what are your regrets? Share them with us, please. We'd like to know.
Yeah.
thisepicdisaster@gmail.com, or if you want to be really lazy and waste a lot of time, you can go to Facebook and just put it on Facebook out there for everybody to see. Either way, it works fine with us.
For the world.
Join us on Facebook. Join the conversations on Facebook. We like people that hang out with us on Facebook.
We have a group, even.
We have a group called the Disaster Baiters. You can look at it. It's a private group. It's it's our secret people. But yeah, you can find us there. Someone became a listener this week. I always know when we get a new listener because they subscribe
and everything downloads.
And so like our downloads are like off the chart for 1 week.
Right.
So I always know. So we got a mystery listener. Maybe it's you. You can find us on Disaster Baiters on Facebook if you want. We're also on Twitter. We're on Instagram and YouTube. All the shows are on YouTube.
Did you ever put our video up?
No, I did not.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to.
It's been 2 weeks. Hasn't it?
Yes. Do you see that camera right there? It hasn't moved.
It hasn't moved.
I'm trying to build an art gallery. I'm sorry, I forget. I will try to do that this week. I swear. You text me.
Okay.
Say, did you do it?
I'm going to do it right now.
Everybody out there, text me.
Everybody
I will try to put that
Rick.
up this week. Even though it's a partial, I will try to put that up.
Yeah.
If I can. All right. I need to quickly divert any kind of blame that's on me, and let's talk about this beer.
Okay.
UFO white beer.
Diversions.
Yeah.
UFO
Yes.
white beer. It's an employee-owned company.
Wow.
American-style white, brewed with orange peel and ground coriander, which a lot of whites are, because those are the flavors of a white beer.
Okay.
Love it. It's brewed by Massachusetts Bay Brewing Company out of Boston and Windsor, Vermont. And, they've been craft endeavor since 80? No, that's 98. I need new glasses. My glasses are too weak now.
Uh-oh.
It's only been a year.
Time to graduate.
5.1% alcohol by volume. What do you think?
I
asked you first.
I got to tell you, I really like this beer. It's not at all what I expected. You know, it's got a little orange, some citrus on there on the cover, and I thought, man, this is going to be a citrusy beer. It is so smooth.
It's a white. It's so yummy.
I'm going to tell you, when we go downstairs,
Yeah.
I'm cracking open another one.
Good for you.
I really liked it.
Because we're having shrimp tacos tonight.
Oh, that's right.
This will go great with shrimp tacos.
It'll go great with anything. It's just a smooth beer that's not over. It doesn't have a strong taste of a flavor of anything.
Right.
But it's not like a watery beer. It's really good.
It's got a very good flavor. It does remind me of Blue Moon, but
Okay.
Blue Moon is stronger.
Been a long time since I've had Blue Moon, so I can't say.
It's almost a thicker beer. This is just your normal white ale. I don't know if there's a difference between a Belgian white and a white. I know Blue Moon is a Belgian white.
This is American white.
Okay, so it's thinner.
I don't know.
That's unusual. Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
That's what. Dang, that's what I was gonna give it.
We're like one brain.
I really liked it. It's not the kind of beer I thought I would like, but it's the kind of beer I would buy this. And you know what? It wasn't that expensive.
Well, yeah, for 5.1% alcohol, I wouldn't think it would.
Good stuff, man. So, yeah, they got a fan out of me. I like this beer. I got it in my local grocery store, so maybe you can find it. UFO. Don't throw it away.
I threw it away. Where's yours?
Well, I don't know. Okay, it's on the floor. So yeah, all right, 4 and 4.
4 and 4. That's what we like.
All right, we're closing down the podcast.
All right, let's go eat.
We're going to close it down. We would like to thank you for joining us every Monday, even though we're just a tiny bit late today.
It's still Monday.
It's still Monday. Find us next Monday on the show. Let us know what you think of the show. Send us a letter. Send us an email. thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Tell us, maybe you're new to the show, maybe you're old to the show. Either way, we like your letters, and we'd like to hear from you. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple, Stitcher, Google, any place that you do the podcast. Leave us a review, please. We need a review. We need stars. Oh, I'm not complaining. I'm not. It helps us out. We just would like for you to do that. Otherwise, that's all I got to say. Thanks for being a friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a friend.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.